We are on episode 3 of season 1, which covers chapters 20 through 25 of the books. So if you've read along and are caught up, awesome. If you missed the first couple episodes, go find those, get caught up with us, and we're going to sit here and talk about it.
All right, let's dig right in.
You got it.
You're ready to go.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to move this
Are
microphone
you?
just a little
That's
bit
the
closer
real
to
question.
you. Am I ready for your questions? We'll see.
Dun, dun,
All right, so this
dun.
one's called, what's the name of this episode? It says right there.
The catacombs below.
So we start with some Fang repellent in this episode. Was there Fang repellent in your book?
No Fang repellent, but I love the idea. Great idea. Did you like the Fang repellent idea?
Yeah, I like that. And apparently Wingfeather fans do too, because I think that there's a Bully Blossom necklace available, I think, right?
Repel your own fangs if you want.
Yeah, even though there aren't real fangs.
Why?
Or at least not yet.
So we talked about in the last episode that the Fangs, of course, hate flowers, and so that seemed a natural thing in Ferenia's flower shop. And we talked about that Sarah actually was kind of helping out at the flower shop. You know, that's where...
Oh, I didn't know that she was helping out there.
Yeah, well, that's what we see in this
kinda
episode.
like doing a
she's
part-time
sweeping
job
up and, you know, her little summer job, whatever. And so we thought, hey, what if Jenner's making her, you know, a little necklace, right? And so that kind of builds a relationship, and then Tink can make fun of him for it, you know, as all good brothers do. You know? That necklace is interesting because, you know, the one that Janner makes didn't survive, and instead the necklace is brought by Lily. Where did she find that necklace?
Found it in the garden.
Whose necklace is it?
Almost certainly it's a Niran.
That's different from the books. We had Slarb be the one who was in charge because he got demoted in the last episode, and he had to go do a run with the Black Carriage and chose to get Sarah
because he sees that they're friends.
because he knows that'll hurt the Igiby kid.
Yep.
Yeah, because he can't hurt them or put them in the jail, because I don't think that we mentioned this, but Norm, the commander, has the Igiby family under protection because Nia, their mom, makes this utterly disgusting maggot loaf, which Norm loves, so he knows that if they hurt the kids, then that'll hurt his tummy.
And just to land it, there was a version of the edit that we did where we actually saw Sarah in the window. And we decided to just kind of make it opaque, and you get the idea. But to make sure it was clear, Slarb has that same necklace at the bridge, you know, just showing off that he's a really mean dude.
Yeah. Want this? A keepsake? Well, you can't have it.
He's just awful in that scene.
Yeah.
He's just petty and mean.
All right, so let's talk about the silver moon bloom. You want to talk about that piece, right?
Yeah, so Sarah's inviting Janner to do that, and, like, it only blooms like once every 7 years, so it's really sad that Sarah misses it. Like, it's really sad as you see it close and all that stuff.
Yeah, the idea, and this is another of Chris's ideas, I think, it was that part of Sarah and Janner's connection, their friendship is over their love for flora and fauna, and like they care about like naturalist stuff. And so Janner is the creature's kid because he's got his nose in Pembroke's Creaturepedia. Ferenia's flower shop is where Sarah works. What if she's into flowers and plants? So she knows about this special bloom that's going to happen.
Yeah. So
Have you guys ever seen the movie Dennis the Menace?
no, but I've heard that name.
Okay. So
Like the newish one?
yeah, new. I know it's not anymore, but yeah, newish. In which there's a flower that he's been cultivating, and it blooms every 10 years. And on the night that it blooms, something bad happens, and he misses the blooming of the flower. That was really for me what I wanted to kind of homage in this moment.
That's so funny. Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorites.
And as we're talking about Sarah, there's kind of this scene where Janner's talking to Poto and Nia and, like, asking if he can go. And I'm kind of wondering, do Poto and Nia have any suspicions about Janner having a crush on Sarah?
Oh, it's a sweet moment. Remember when he asks? And we talked about this, that at their age, right, he's 12, and that he have a special friend. We talked about, like, let's just leave it there, not pushing it further. And there's this great interaction at the table where Nia maybe goes a little further, and Jenner's like, huh? No, I mean, we both like the same stuff.
It's a little defensive, but I do think it's just an innocent friendship.
Yeah.
Made complicated by the fact that they're 12 and he's a boy and she's a girl.
Yeah.
But I love the subtlety in that scene because there's this little pause where Nia and Poto look at each other really quickly. And at the premiere, they got a big laugh.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Like, are we talking about this? Right. That's good. All right, let's talk about Florid Sword. Can we talk about him for a minute?
Yeah, exactly. So, Tink, remember, he stole the map. There's this place called Ankle Jelly Manor, and Tink wants to go, but Jan won't let him. And now he's making Tink return the book. But since Lily's there, he has to be subtle about. Like, he says, please return these books, and please bring all of them back. Like, put all of them back. But then, as he's sliding it back in there, he finds this poster that says, like, fight the Fangs.
Yep.
And Janner's seen that. So now when Sarah gets taken, it sparks something. And now he's like, we've got to go. Which kind of leads to something important. Lily comes too. And that's not part of the books. What changed?
So let's talk about first about the propaganda. So that's an interesting question actually for you, because when you were writing in this later parts of the story, do you imagine the Florid Sword would have had propaganda to join the resistance? Is that I know we pushed it in the series. But
Yeah, I don't know that there necessarily would have been. I mean, honestly, I know one of the questions that was set up was, would they have known about the Florid Sword in Dugtown? Would the poster have, or not Dugtown, in Clipwood? And honestly, the Florid Sword did not exist until book 2.
Right, he didn't exist at that time.
I just hadn't even thought of him until I got to Northrop Eaton. And so being able to go back and seed that stuff into the world is such fun. So yeah, I think that they would have known who he was.
Known who he was.
There could have been.
Yeah.
I mean, most resistances like that would have had some kind of. They had printing presses.
Yep.
They would
And the
have.
Florid Sword's a very public figure at this point in Dugtown, making a mess of things.
Yeah, fighting riding the rooftops and just causing a stir, causing up trouble.
exactly.
And neither the Fangs and some of the Dugtowners don't like him.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, that little device, you're right, is what then causes Janner to say, I bet Ankle Jelly Manor. Do you get that map still? And of course, thankfully, he does have the map.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You're the brother I always
that-
wanted, Tink says.
I love that. That's one of my favorite lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is, we talked in episode 1, if you watch us there, about Dear Lily, right?
Yeah.
And this was the moment we said we didn't want her to just kind of tag along. We wanted her to make a decision, I'm with you, right?
She was my friend too.
And push it in there because it then bonds them as like, you know what, you're right, let's go. This is super dangerous, but let's do it. We also wanted to make one visit to Ankle Jelly here and have a lot of stuff happen and not do multiple trips.
But side note, I don't know if this is interesting to you or not, but like the first draft of the book had like 5 different visits to Ankle Jelly and Pete's castle and the jail. Wow. And like it was just like, while you're figuring out a story, you're making all these moves. And then early on in the editing process, I kind of was just like, am I allowed to just take all of those things and squeeze them into one trip? It felt like cheating somehow, but it actually isn't. Once you do it, you realize that nobody's ever going to think anything of it.
It kind of
so
compromises it.
Yeah, so we just kind of did it even more in the TV show.
So then, when that's coming, there's this squeebling scene, and it kind of shows Lily's heroism. Anything you want to say about that?
Oh, yeah. Well, Mr.
Right.
Peterson wrote some amazing things about what she could do with songs, right? And music being kind of a magic system in the world even. And so this was a great moment to kind of just tease something, right?
Yeah.
Her ability to do something,
On the fly. Her
quickly.
song.
It was
Yeah.
So this is a question we talked about. What is Janner's superpower? Like, what's he really good at?
Creature
Creaturepedia, right?
Yeah,
creature
creature
knowledge. Like,
knowledge.
that's his secret knowledge, right? You have the superpower of knowing so much about Wingfeather that we probably don't even know. And so his superpower is Creaturepedia. And so, okay, well, how do we use his superpower combined with Lily's ability and get something special? And that was really where that came out. And the Squeebling seemed like the right
And
animal.
it was really fun to grab stuff from Pember's Creaturepedia and insert it.
So we remember looking in the writer's room, thumbing through what creature could they encounter. And then it was Squeebling. Oh, and they're prone to melancholy. Oh, we could definitely do something there.
So then, in the meantime, we have Poto and Nia talking to Mayor Blagus about like Sarah being taken because they know Janner's upset, so there's some stuff going on there. Anything you want to say about that?
Well, let's talk about
scene?
this. This was a big thing. It's actually in episode 1. It was one of the first animation scenes we got, is Poto talking to Shaggy. They're taking children now. And we played this idea that maybe the Black Carriage hadn't ever taken kids, and then there's a decisive moment, now they're doing it, as something to kind of spark the adults into action.
Yeah, I kind of like the line there where Mayor Blagus is saying, "If you'll excuse me, I have to get the slop ray for our fangs." And Poto says, like, "Our fang has grown precious to you, have they?"
Slarb. Big kind of, he's going to continue to be a menacing presence here.
Yeah, he hears about the jewels of an era, hears that whole conversation, and then he's off to find the jewels, breaks into the house, finds them, traps Nugget in the closet. How bad is that?
Yeah, he's a bad dude, and he is clearly gone rogue. So I think what's scarier than a Fang of Dang is a Fang of Dang gone rogue. Is what we thought, like what if we
With
just
a
like
personal
really
vendetta.
push,
Yeah.
And now it's like here, this is gonna go to the end, right? This guy is so unhinged, and we thought it'd be really fun for him to find some jewels. So we switched up that we're gonna keep hunting for actual jewelry as the main thing they're all thinking about for as long as we can go, and not thinking about that they could be people. And so him finding a little stash of jewels was perfect, right? To kind of, he's right, and then off we go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll say, one of the questions was about Ankle Jelly Manor and like what was it before. Jennifer Trafton, my sister-in-law, wrote a story called The Wooing of Sophelia's Stoop. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah, I do. It's really good.
That's in Wingfeather Tales, and that deals with Ankle Jelly in years and years and years before the events of the books. And then what were you going to say?
We talked about that story quite a lot because I said we can design Ankle Jelly Manor to look like it would have looked.
You're
so we
right.
actually thought about its footprint because all the lovely things she describes in that story.
It's pretty great.
And then we'll tear it apart, like make it Asian.
Yeah.
But we actually had a nice version of it in mind first.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that idea. And then in The Ranger's Guide to Glipwood Forest, in the story, the guide leads you past Ankle Jelly Caverns. And there's a little footnote that says, they looked in the cavern and thought that would be a good place to hide secret weapons one day. So the idea is that it used to be caverns that people knew about that thieves and brigands would hide in, and then the manor was built on top, and that's the
Cool.
the basement.
There you go. Awesome. Well, there it is. Catacombs Below. Really important episode to set up what's going to happen in the rest of the season. And thank you for joining us for this read and watch. Again, this is chapters 20 through 25 in the book On the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness. And we're in episode 3. There's the OG cover.
Oh, yeah.
Cooper's first
I
edition.
have it.
Those are great
Is
versions
it a
of
true
them.
first?
So be sure to stay in all the way to the end of this. We're going to take it through all of season 1 and comparing it. But thanks for joining for episode 3, and we'll see you next time for episode 4.
Thanks, y'all.